Homeless poodle who just realized she's being rescued has unusual response. While every homeless dog deserves to be rescued, it can be difficult to convince them of that. From their perspective, rescuers could very well be out to harm them, especially if these dogs have already suffered abuse at the hands of humans. If they couldn't trust their owners, why would they trust a stranger? Layla the poodle had no reason to be different. This stray had been struck by a car and she was in desperate need of help. Her rescuers anticipated her reaction to their efforts, but boy, were they completely wrong. Strays often can't tell when someone's trying to help them, and so they quickly become aggressive or scared. Rescuers like Annie Hart from Rescue from the Heart and Eldad Hager from Hope for Paws know this all too well. When Annie received an urgent call about a homeless poodle who'd been hit by a car in South Los Angeles, she immediately enlisted Eldad's help. Together, the two rushed to find the dog, hoping it wasn't too late. Annie and Eldad finally spotted her hunched along the side of the busy road. They knew they'd have their work cut out for them, but this dog's behavior shocked even them. Despite the dog's injuries, she didn't seem to want to fight them. Instead, she did something quite different, and it quickly brought her rescuers to tears. It simply wasn't what their staff were used to seeing. Layla, as she was later named, seemed so resigned to her fate that she sort of just played dead. It was as if she said, "I give up." In response, Annie was eager to show her that she and Eldad meant no harm. Once Annie felt like Layla was ready, she gently secured a leash around the poodle's neck. Once again, whether it was because she trusted Annie or was just so weak, the homeless dog just didn't seem interested in struggling. Even once she had properly fastened the leash, Annie didn't want to rush Layla just yet. Rather, she continued to sit with the pup for just a few moments longer. But then, little Layla did something even more precious. While she was already clearly a calm dog, Layla decided to show off just how much of a love bug she was by offering up some wet kisses. Obviously, this was far from the usual routine for these animal rescuers, and it affected Annie in a way she didn't expect. In the midst of this bittersweet moment, she couldn't hold back the waterworks. Here was a dog who had suffered terribly and desperately needed help, but she still managed to show so much affection. Still, as powerful as those initial moments with Layla were, her story was just getting started. After a few more minutes, it was time to pick up the stray dog and take her to the hospital. She was as calm as ever as she rode shotgun all the way there. What she didn't know was how much of a transformation she was about to undergo. Once Annie and Eldad arrived at the hospital, Layla, in desperate need of help, continued to display all the love she'd shown them before. She might have been frightened, but she never showed it. One of the first tasks on the agenda at the hospital was to almost completely shave her fur, which was matted and filthy. From there, they discovered their first real challenge. As the medical staff soon learned, Layla's intestines were severely damaged, and her life was in immediate danger. They had no choice but to keep her at the hospital for the next 2 weeks and pray that she pulled through. Luckily, Layla was not alone. Every day of her hospital stay, she was visited by a foster family who was prepared to care for her until she could find her forever home. Apparently, these daily visits, as well as the constant and attentive care from the hospital staff, did the trick. Not a day went by that Layla didn't grow stronger, healthier, and happier. Soon enough, after those few challenging weeks of treatment and recovery, Layla was starting to let her personality shine through. Finally, the sweet, fun-loving dog beneath was on the up and up. Layla may have been missing her signature curly fur, but she wasn't going to let something like that stop her from appreciating the new and improved life ahead of her. As always, she was more than happy to shower everyone with kisses. Finally, Layla was ready to head home with her foster family. Eventually, she'd need to find herself a forever home, but for the time being, she was going to be well cared for at long last. Layla was certainly the exceptional dog, and unlike any other homeless dog that Annie and Eldad encountered before. Just watch the tearful moment when Annie discovered her injured and helpless on the street.